like long plays and stuff.
Hell yeah! Screw everybody.
Wait, did you see that? I went to the thing that brings you up and it didn't even. Okay, like, this game's broken.
Place.
There we go.
This fucking guy just at the wrong person.
Yulura.
Oh god. This guy just.
We'll get going in a sec. Hello everybody on chat.
My favorite level in Spyro 1.
Like, I don't know if I should stay in the call or not.
You can say it.
Oh,
Wait, is it picking up? Is it picking up my my game? If it is, you can leave the call if you want.
I was just like, I don't know if I should stream with everybody in here. Might be chaos.
If you go, what game are you gonna play?
The demo.
The demo? Oh,
Maybe
okay.
other stuff afterwards, I'm not sure. Just kind of depends.
what the fuck?
I can turn down the game on control play. I think. Let me check.
Nah, it's fine. I might just like maybe we can go into a private call or something.
Oh shit.
You guys even want to do that?
Yeah,
Hey, don't look at me. Do whatever you want to do.
I was saying, like, if you want to go into a private call, live stream or something, like me, you, Max, and JJ, obviously. You're here.
Yeah, I'll go on that. In like the INTP group.
I guess. Yeah, we have to add JJ though. So.
I mean, it wouldn't make much sense for him to join the call anywhere in the room. I mean, unless you really don't want to, like, put Max on the speaker. Because we might as well just huddle around your computer and screw your computer, otherwise we're going to have echo build.
Echo.
Yeah. We already have it, it's going to be even worse with another person. I mean, we could try it out.
I mean, you guys can come over here, but I'm using my... The problem is me streaming with this, like this mic, I'm like, I don't know how to do this in a way that's not gonna kick back. Really not a problem for me.
I mean, just have to sit right next to the fire, basically.
I mean,
Well done, Emily. Alright, I'm done with Scribbly Open. Maybe later. Maybe when I'm really drunk. Oh, I can start drinking. Cool. Okay.
Oh yeah. Let me change the title of this. This is gonna be a drink as well.
Okay, I'm gonna end the call now. Alright, bye guys.
I'll see you guys on stream.
Alright.
I'll watch in a sec.
Drunk demo live stream with friends. There's the new title.
You're sleep deprived? Very much so. Let's do this. You're probably gonna fall asleep, like, after you start drinking. That's okay. That's okay? Alright. Oh god, I'm excited.
Somebody bring me just like a Corona or something, please. Pretty please. Yeah, I haven't started the demo yet, guys. So screen's gonna be black for a second. I'm gonna start once I get my beer. Just try to chill for a sec. I am very happy to have gotten the demo out, but also very, very stressed out. This is celebration / relaxation. I'm gonna play the demo here in just a second, Zinni. I've already got the launcher open. I'm just waiting. Well, actually, I guess I could just put it up. So you've not heard of these?
Here we go.
Is it really not gonna let me window capture this? Oh, that's some bullshit. Alright, well, I guess I've gotta do this. Oh, we have a thing for these, by the way, on the neither of these are screwed up. It's in the silverware drawer, in the back of the silverware drawer. So pull stuff forward. It should be either that. It looks like a telephone booth.
A what?
A telephone booth, like.
Okay.
You'll know when you see it. It's the only telephone booth looking thing. Alright, I'm gonna have to like run this in windowed mode because OBS doesn't like to capture the game for some reason, which annoys me. Sorry everybody. We will definitely start momentarily. I need to refine the folder. What the fuck? There we go. Okay. Windowed mode. Alright. There we go. Now we should be streaming. Actually, shit. I gotta redo that because I don't know what's happening with the sound at all.
Swiss Army knife, maybe that'll work.
Oh.
You might have it on it.
Maybe. Is my stepdad out there?
Yes.
Yeah. Have him find it because I don't even think. I don't know about that.
I don't even know how to get these out.
Yeah. I have no idea. Yeah. So here we are, everybody. Welcome to stream of the demo. I've got Ratchet 5 here with me, as well as Gerard Jupiter. I don't know if you guys can actually hear them because we're spread out across my room. Yeah, just scream towards me in my general direction and it'll work just fine.
Oh, cool. We got the chat here. Hi, guys.
Yeah, which I'm gonna actually pause the video over here because I'm just gonna lag the fuck out of my stream. Because I think my parents are watching Netflix while I'm streaming and then watching my own stream.
We are also going to be drinking.
Yes.
I don't know how much and how quickly, but you know that's the thing that's happening.
Yeah, this is
a bottle over the face.
this is celebration time. Finally get the first demo for Zera Mist Awaken out, which is exciting. This is like first impressions kind of a thing for everybody to like really get a feel for like, okay, what is Zera? How does she play? What's the difference? Like, no. I'm excited because this is just taking a while, and like I don't know, I'm real fucking excited. Also, though, very very stressed and tired, hence why we're about to drink. Oh, Armando, that's definitely not gonna stay in the game or anything. It's never gonna be in like the full game or anything. I just threw it in the demo because it was like, huh, what better way to be like, oh yeah, it's a PS1 style game. It definitely won't stay in the final release.
So the can opener and a bottle opener.
Sweet. Finally beer. No. So I wanted to put like standing enemies, but honestly wasn't time to do that. There's a lot of things that I didn't have time. Yeah, but some of those things will be making it into the demo. The demo is going to get patched. It's going to get updated.
Do you have any like Christmas related enemies currently that you could have put in maybe?
I briefly started working on some like big snacks that would stand around and like whack you with the candy cane, but I never got very far with the model just because it distracted with other shit. The demo.
Enemies take a while, I think.
Honestly, it's more so just like implementing shit in. But yeah, here we go with the demo. finally got the Screech implemented. Yeah. Yeah. It only took about a half hour. I was surprised with it doesn't look terrible, which is also surprising me. So I was genuinely worried about how it would end up, like, sounding and looking. I'm gonna turn this fucking volume down.
What's the hitbox like for the Screech? Is it flat? Is it like flat?
The hitbox works the same way as like Spyro's Flame did. It has like multiple points that shoot out in different directions and can hit, you know, targets or whatever. And then it has like, you know, a bit of an arc, sort of, but it's mainly pretty straightforward. What you see is what you can mainly hit with it. By the way, I don't know how the audio balances on stream. Like, I'm gonna turn down. I'm like, I don't know if I should turn down the volume on my computer or just turn down the volume of the game. I'm just gonna turn down the volume of the game. Yeah, so I have no idea what the balance is like. It's really loud for me in my earbuds. There we go. That's better. Who's the main villain? It is, as John said, Medusa. Medusa is the main baddie.
What's the Christian say you have to say for yourself?
I don't know. Let's find out. Oh god. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is.
I was saying the other day that these characters just looks like a particular game that we've all played. It's like enemies, pretty much exactly the same style. It's like,
Still some things I wanted to do with this, but I haven't gotten a chance to. Like, I need to make it to where, like, when you initiate dialogue, Zera will move from what position she is in to actually properly stand in front of them. But, as of now, I haven't gotten around to that yet.
yeah, our voice and stuff is still alright. I mean, the game audio can be turned down a little bit.
Like, now it can be turned down more?
A little bit.
Okay, let me turn down game audio a bit. Not that. There we go. I don't know why I'm changing the voice acting. There is currently no voice acting in this demo.
They'll definitely be able to hear us now that you've done that.
Alright, there we go. Yeah, I'm a big fan of her screeching. In general, like, just her animations, I really
Zera looks so cute. I love her.
like.
Great.
She's
Especially when,
very
you
adorable.
don't really see it on this level though, but like when you're like teetering on like an edge of like a little platform, she does like she does it. That's it. Yeah, there you go. I love that as well. Does Spyro even do that?
Yeah, he has an edge,
He has
like
an edge?
idle thing like that. But it's probably not nearly as adorable. So there's been a lot of changes, as I'm sure some of you guys can tell, between like the last video that went up and this. Like, just a significant amount of changes. I wanted to show stuff off, but I kind of honestly I've been trying to hold off until like this could be a thing. I wanted to put out the demo, just have it be like a big huge reveal of like, you know, all the stuff that's been worked on, and of course a demo to not only like I guess like celebrate like how far everything's come along since the project started in February of last year.
You're kind of showing off how different it is to last year's holiday event.
Yeah, there's also that. I wanted to like sort of capitalize on the anniversary of the original demo a bit and sort of try and outdo it. And also there's lots of little checkboxes for me with this demo, things that I wanted to get done and wanted to prove to myself and show off with this stuff and just be able to, yeah. There's lots of things about this demo that it just needed to happen, honestly. Like, all the demos for Spyro Miss Awaken had to go, you know, and it was, yeah, it sucked, kind of a shitty situation, but it had to be done, so we needed to get something out that would replace it and allow people to play.
Not ordinary in game, Nano's music is saying that the music is really good and they should keep it the same. This is the exact same music that was in last year's Holiday Adventure, so this is pretty old actually.
Yeah, this music is music from the original.
And it
Actually,
was made for Canvas Falls at first, right?
yeah, it was made for Canvas Falls originally. It never got used for Canvas Falls because it just wasn't
It does
fitting.
have a little bit of a wintry kind of feel to it, like especially the like that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's bubbly like that. And
But Sai is planning on changing it to a track that
has actually been made for this.
Yes, that's right.
It
And
is.
by someone called Gabe Shenanigans who recently just went to bed actually a couple of minutes ago. So he's not here. Otherwise, probably would have been here. But yeah, he's working on that, and that should be done within a couple of days probably. It sounds really good though. I don't mind this track for this level, but yeah, I mean the new one sounds pretty amazing. I was saying to him earlier in the car that it's good that he's got it kind of done this early because it means that he has time before Christmas while it's still relevant. This is kind of like a Christmas thing.
Yeah. And like, that's the other thing too with this. I wanted to like get this out much earlier than last year's, because I think last year's released like almost the week of Christmas, which yeah, it's a little late at that point, I think.
So I does like to get stuff done pretty early. Compared to me, I'd probably just wait until Christmas to get stuff lazy like that.
I mean, like, I'd have been able to put a lot more of the features in that I had wanted to if I'd waited till Christmas. But I honestly felt like we needed to get something out, and I could not wait that long to share stuff. Because it's been awful not being able to put up any videos for like the past like month or so because I was trying to hold everything back.
Yeah, when was the last tech demo? It was Dark Rift Glimmer, and that was right before the cease and desist.
Yeah,
That was what, like,
oh, I have to actually look and see when that demo came out. I think
it was early October, from what I remember.
Was it?
Yeah.
I have to go back
Because I
through my
remember
videos. It was 2 months ago, so yeah. No, actually, September 11th.
Oh, shit, that was wow. That's even further ago than I thought. What is that? 3 months now?
2 months. 2 months.
Well, 3 months.
Ah.
October, November, December. 3 months. Yeah. We're almost on the 11th. We're at the 9th at the moment.
I apparently don't know my fucking months.
Sai does like his Hero Tale music.
Yeah, I do.
It just doesn't sound Copeland-y, like, in the slightest, apart from some of the instruments. I don't think it sounds anything like a Copeland track, to be honest. I mean, Sai's music generally is not really very Copeland-y anyway.
I've honestly not really tried to be very Copeland-y either.
Like, Sai thinks that Copeland's a little bit overrated. And a lot of his favorite tracks...
Getting controversy here.
A lot of his favorite tracks in the Spyro series are not made by Copeland, and, like, if there's ones that, like, he likes, usually he'll like say that, oh yeah, Copeland probably didn't even work on this. So
I swear that's something that JP8K says more than me. I don't shit on Copeland that hard. Like I think he does some good work. Like I like Copeland. Like he does good work, but like, I don't know. I just think at a certain point the sound kind of ran its course. And it was really starting to show its like just show signs of strain like around Enter the Dragonfly, which is, in my opinion, like the worst Spyro soundtrack that exists.
So Game Station 3 was talking about how it's good that it turned into the spiritual successor. I mean, that was always the plan. It was more just like.
Well, okay, so let me clarify that because I've said that, but honestly. Like, it never was the intention from the get-go, to be honest. It's more so something I've said so that people would stop freaking the fuck out when the cease and desist happened. And also just out of frustration.
Okay,
like,
okay.
It became part of the plan at a certain point, but it was never the original one.
We talked about ages before cease and desist, like, oh, you know, what is the plan if something like that happens? And you're like, oh, it's alright, we didn't change it or something.
But as far as actually having a plan, like we didn't actually have a plan. So when the cease and desist happened, we scrambled and shit went down with the team.
Everyone expected maybe it would happen in like say like 6 months time or something when they would actually mine the sun or get a new game. So it was like, oh, you know, maybe that will happen, but we don't have to, you know, we don't have to deal with that at the moment. But then it just kind of came so early and abruptly that like.
I hadn't actually planned for it. Like, that's something to say to like save face and like keep people from freaking the fuck out about the whole situation. Which, I mean, the situation sucked. Also, cheating at my own game. But
I don't know how to do any of these skips. I'm really bad at it.
there's really that's only the one skip, to be honest. The other skip is intended, like it's an optional side area. You just have to realize that you can glide around there.
We should also mention that this is playing on the emulator, well not the emulator, sorry, the what is it like?
Okay, so let me give context to this. There's a classic resolution, which it's just going to be called classic settings and emulated settings, and there's going to be an advanced that'll take you to a different menu to change a bunch of individual things. But basically, clicking one of these buttons will switch it from like, you know, full resolution looking, which technically right now it is full resolution. It's running like, I think 1700 and something by something else. I don't know. I'm running windowed. If it was not windowed, I'd know what it was exactly. But it's really high resolution. But it looks like you can see the jagged edges, like very sharp, hard pixels. That's because of the way we have it set up. There's even like some dithering on there, and like we've got the far color like LOD thing in place, courtesy of Rubber Rabbit, I might add. And like it's just set up to sort of imitate the look and feel of it being like a PS1 game. But so like the emulated version, essentially, it's a quote unquote emulated version, will be all those kind of things removed to where it's like, okay, like if you were to play like a PS1 game on like, you know, 2x resolution or whatever, like, and crank up the settings on everything to push it up to its max, and it had like, you know, anti-aliasing and like all the sharp pixel edges were gone, like that would be what the emulated is going to be like as an option.
Are you gonna release that on this demo?
I don't know. I wanted to, but for now, I will say what is planned to eventually get put in to this demo is time trial mode, which you'll have to, won't be forced like the original Holiday Adventure demo. You have to actually beat it normally, which gives you, you know, the option of getting used to you have to get used to the like the regular level, because I expect people would have hella problems trying to go through this in one go. People struggled with the original Holiday Adventure. I can't imagine trying to do this as a time trial from the start. Like, just for context, the time trial timer has 6 minutes on the clock to start. Like it works a bit differently than last time in that it just counts down, but it's planned to have 6 minutes, and depending on whether or not you're missing stuff, or if you're paying careful attention to things and you know where everything's at, like you could run out of time even on that. And it still takes like a couple minutes to complete fully, like several. So it's going to be interesting, but it is definitely a thing that's planned, and it will be in this demo eventually, as well as a few other features. I forget what we were actually talking about. I feel like I drifted off into a random segue.
So how long have you been working on this then?
So originally I wanted this to be a Halloween demo, to like sort of contrast last year's, as you know, Spyro Myths Awaken had the Holiday Adventure. I was thinking like, oh, we'll do like a spooky adventure for Zera. But unfortunately, because of everything that happened with the cease and desist, causing like so much shit to have to get replaced and changed, and like just having to take a break from update videos to focus on that, and then stuff with the team happening, it ended up being that it was just not possible to get it out by Halloween. I'm barely getting this out on a timely manner now. I feel like people are gonna enjoy this quite a bit, but I'm not as satisfied with this as I would like to be, and I won't be until we get some of those other features in. But yeah, this has been worked on since October.
So someone says make different difficulties for the time trials, which is basically what he's going to do.
Yeah, so with the time trial, there is actually going to be like tiers to it. So you'll have 6 minutes to go, and the only way you can like, I guess, game over and lose at it is to just simply run out of time. The 6 minutes just.
Is this game going to be released on
I've not even no idea. But the time trial, so like anything above 4.5 minutes, but below 6 minutes is gonna be considered like bronze for the time trial, like in terms of the amount of seconds you have left. So like if you have 4.5 minutes or more left, it's bronze. If you have, or no, not left. Am I already that drunk? How did I describe this earlier with the tiers? Do I have to like look at my notepad document? I'm so confused.
It's like if you have more than say 1 minute 50 left on a 6-minute timer, then you'll get a gold. And then if you have say like 1 minute 10 or something or more, you get a silver. And then it's like just beat the timer, then it's a bronze.
Yeah, it is sort of like taking inspiration from
Or
Crash's
you might
like
make
time
it,
trials.
Like, count up instead, which would be kind of like the Crash 3 time trials, where you just it counts up and you just got to beat a certain time. Although like he was considering on having like some of the gems change into like time gems or whatever, time relics, where you, like collected it like stops the
Possibly.
timer or something like that. He was considering that, and maybe that might happen, but for the moment it's about 100%
So
in the level.
for the most part, it's just like I think I found where I posted shit in my private Discord channels to keep track of stuff with this. So 3 minutes and under, like if you have like if you beat the demo in 3 minutes and under, it's gold for the time trial mode. If you over 3 but under 4 minutes and 30 seconds, it's silver, and if it's over 4:30 but under 6, it's bronze. Of course, timer runs out equals game over, restart kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't think that the precise details of the mathematics really matter at the moment, especially as you're probably going to change it. I was trying to encourage him to have a very difficult gold medal, like the kind of thing where you have to do the level like almost perfect to actually get it.
See, this is the thing. What I've tried to get Ratchet to understand is I'm fairly certain most people are gonna struggle to get even like the bronze, just on average. It was a close call for me to get gold my first time through, or what will end up being gold. And I'm thinking, to be honest, that like 3 minutes, like beating it with 3 minutes remaining, like most people are not going to be able to do that, or they're going to have to practice at it for a while.
There's a lot of ways you could do this. Like someone was just suggesting some kind of thing where you have a certain amount of time and then you have to use that time to collect as many gems as possible or something like that. That's like limited amount of time.
Yeah, see, I did have like the idea of doing like just sort of different modes like that, like just including a few other things, but
I mean, it is kind of like
it's one of those feature creep things where like, or scope creep, like which is already what happened to this demo. There's things that like the time trial, which I should have been working on a while ago, to be honest, and they just got worked on recently, and other stuff got put in instead. So there's new features which Andrew, Ratchet 5 here, specifically demanded that I implement. Like that would be the look around.
Yeah, there was none of this a couple of days ago. I mean, like 3 or 4 days ago, this did not exist.
Yeah, so now you can, and it works much like Hero's Tale. No. There's no clamping on this yet. Wee, some vomit for you.
He was like, when he found that, he's like, oh, I can fix that easy. Like 3 hours later.
Oh, no. That's something to have Zera look at some point. Which, for anybody who doesn't know, is like main coder behind a lot of this stuff. So, but yeah, this.
Arcade mode.
I don't know. But yeah, so this is something I've been wanting to get into the game since like way early on as like Spyro Myths Awaken. The problem has been like it's such a low level like necessity. Like it's been very low on the to-do list in terms of priority. Yeah, it wasn't that bad to get in, but it was just one of those things I hadn't bothered to do it yet because other things were more important. I don't know. It's neat to have it though now, to be honest, because I quite like being able to actually look around and see shit. Especially because I think this is probably the prettiest level we put together for this, like whole project thus far, and came together pretty quickly. And it takes good advantage of the far color LOD thing quite a bit. Which for anybody who doesn't know what that is, it's a try to find a good visual representation. Like see the trees here in the background. Like you can slowly see like the snow texture start to fade in on them, but other than that, they're normally like just solid green with like just the vertex color shading and stuff. So like you can slowly see them come into existence in terms of like full color.
So it's basically the same thing that Insomniac did.
Yeah, it's meant to be like a replication of that, but
if you have it on emulator mode, that doesn't happen, basically.
It'll still happen, but there'll be an option to turn it off. I think is what I'm gonna go for.
Right.
I might even allow settings to tweak how much it affects or like what the distance are.
Do that, they allow you to do whatever you want with it, basically. But, yeah.
What's the fodder for the level gonna be? I have no idea yet.
He doesn't even know if this level is actually gonna be in the actual full game. Like, there's a good chance it might be this level, but like something to change.
Oh, I mean, stuff's definitely gonna get changed before the full level, like in the actual game.
It might change into a non-Christmas level, but it might keep the same.
Like, it would definitely be like a Christmas level. Yeah, it's Jollyland. Like that's the whole theme of it, really. And it's already paired up with Twisted Hollows.
I think a problem you might have with this problem is this is meant to be a second world level, and I don't really know how you're gonna add the challenge into it unless you kind of change the way the level is, or you make the enemies particularly difficult.
See, I think you think it's not that challenging, but you forget how. Yeah, and also because you're really good at Spyro.
Well, okay, yeah, but I mean, I think most people who have played this will be good at Spyro. Like, I mean, unless
you'd be surprised.
Okay, fine, you might attract some people who like haven't played.
Like I don't know. I find there's a fair amount of like difficulty to this at times, but like the thing is, this isn't meant to be like the Dark Souls of 3D platformers or anything. I don't know. I'm gonna be that dude and say that fucking dumbass phrase. Like, I don't know, this is just meant to just be, like, chill and, like, explore and look at pretty shit, and oh my god, isn't Zera so cute? The game, like, I love just exploring and just messing around with the mechanics of things. I do want to make it a little bit more challenging, but one thing is, and
Spyro is quite, I mean, okay, maybe it's because I played it a lot, but Spyro is pretty easy. Like,
yeah.
I play Crash a lot, but I still find Crash somewhat difficult.
I am absolute trash at Crash Bandicoot.
But Spyro is you know, it's a pretty easy game.
Yeah, so I like it'll. What I mean by making it more difficult is, you know, maybe more difficult in certain ways than Spyro, but it's not going to be some like super difficult platformer. It's just not really ever been what it's about.
So there are people suggesting different fodder. We got Gingerbread Man,
yeah.
Christmas cookies, fruit cake, snowballs. I feel like it's boring. Just
find a living snowball is boring. Excuse me.
Just a snowball with like a face on it. Like there's already snow here though. So, because when it dies.
Oh no, actually.
Oh okay.
Some other random little side notes about this. There's been some like mechanical tweaks overall. I was talking about this in Discord server earlier. Just now that it's no longer Spyro, just being able to do more with the mechanics and tweak them a bit more, to not have to match up the Spyro's physics at all. So like stuff like bonking into walls has been made more difficult to do, just because it's kind of an annoying thing. Like you can still bonk, because obviously if you charge headfirst into a wall, you should bonk, but like it's a lot harder to do just like going along the edge of one now, which makes it a lot more fun to run around on shit, because you're less likely to just randomly get like fucking clotheslined by a tree or a random piece of geometry. Another thing too that I added, I thought was kind of neat recently, and I up until like yesterday wasn't really sure if it was at all useful, is being able to actually use the spin dive out of a charge in the air directly now. You no longer have to glide and then hover if you're air charging or whatever. Like you can just, you know, do it directly from a spin dive or from an air charge, which I've actually find is really helpful for getting the target chests that are floating on balloons.
We got little elf heads on stubby legs with long red noses and angry red eyes, with a pointy hat with a bell on the end, and the hat with shoes.
Does this mean we've been known?
That sounds like a very ugly fodder. Fodder is supposed to be cute, so you feel bad when you kill them. They can't be ugly like that. Be known.
We've been known.
This was another cool feature. At least I think it's cool anyways. Visual way to show the timer for these, because I know a lot of people struggle with the link chest in some of the other demos. I thought it would be neat to give people some visual indication on that. But I also didn't want to clutter up the UI any.
I think the biggest problem with the link chest is they look very spirally, like compared to everything else. I think they have like a big spiro kind of feel right all over them.
I don't know.
Because they definitely remind me of like the jump and grab chest in Fire 1.
The jump and grab chest.
Jump and grab chest.
My god. Still on with this.
What are they called? Spring chests, right?
Spring chests, yeah.
Right. Yeah, Rob is
Hey,
like
level
one
complete.
at a time for those three. Yeah, that was a good idea. So you got snacks in this level. What else do you have?
What do you mean?
Enemies.
I don't know. I think I got enough for it. Kind of making this shit up as I go along.
Yeah, fair enough. So is every level gonna have a? Oh, actually no. That was just an arbitrary number you picked on the demo.
What?
1,000.
So I don't know what the like relic count's gonna be like for these.
Oh yeah, I've been in debate with him about the relic values. I mean, I'm not gonna go into it. This side would probably get like annoyed. But...
That's another thing that's changed since like last demo or last video, anyways. Like there was initially they were set up to be like, you know, they would just increment by 1 because I wanted to change them so they wouldn't be like, you know, Spyros, gems or whatever, and just like, you know, do like the 1, 2.
Yeah.
1, 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, you only mean
1, 2.
1, 2,
Yeah.
5, 10, 25.
Yeah. I wanted it to be different. And I also wanted to change it with the colors and what colors were involved. But ultimately, it just wasn't as satisfying if they just incremented by 1, and it was also just annoying because there was like a shit ton of colors. So they weren't as valuable, feeling worthwhile to get a lot of the time. So I ended up settling on a different color scheme.
Basically binary.
Yeah.
It's like a binary thing.
And it just increases by twice, or it's 2 times each. Fucking words.
It doubles each time, yeah.
Yeah, it doubles each time. So you go 1, 2, 4,
The other day I was suggesting
8, 12, 16, or not 12,
I forgot what it's
16,
called.
32.
Oh no, I can't believe I don't know what it's called.
I am struggling with words right now. Not even
I
that
was
drunk.
suggesting Fibonacci. I was suggesting the Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah, which I don't like because it's so odd numbered. It's just bizarre.
It's 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21.
Like I like 3 in there, but then the rest of it is so
And then and then 55.
there's too many odd numbered things happening there.
Yeah, but I mean, it is a logical sequence though. Like it's like a lot of people say it's like BT or something is all about the Fibonacci sequence. I've heard that before. It's like I don't know, but yeah, that's my suggestion. We'll see. That will be changed. It won't necessarily be the same. What does this guy say?
Watch your step. If you see ice like this frozen over a river, you know you won't be able to, or just know you won't be able to dash across it. Oh my god. Yeah, that's all I tell you. It's just I put a few NPCs in here, just kind of give you and some other people just a rundown of certain things. I don't know. Is this where we're taking this conversation?
I'm gonna take it in a different direction. So I had an idea for a thing. What about a little snowball on the ground that then pops up with like a little face when you get near it, then it rolls itself up and then gathers snow to get bigger, and then it tries to run you over.
I like it, but no.
Okay. Halfway there.
I mean, it would probably be difficult to implement.
Well,
Also, I'm drunk, so I'm having a hard time picturing this at all.
I'm gonna write it down and I'll try to describe it over and over.
What you should do is you should have some kind of like suggestion box where just people could just fit in a whole lot of ideas.
No, God no.
Then like you set it up like where like.
Is the suggestion box my recycle bin?
I mean, it's not, you don't have to follow it. Okay, maybe I'll just set it up and then you can just decide to ignore it if you want to. There you go. That's what I'll do probably. 'Cause,
I
at
the thing with
moment,
suggestions
there's
is
so
like
many
I
people
love.
suggesting all this crap.
I know, and like it's nice and all, but it's like.
It's so unstructured if you just like just have random people just like say things.
Yeah, I've people ask me for like, oh, can we have like a feedback channel or like a suggestion channel? I'm like, no, 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 you may not. It's like as much as I appreciate like all the suggestions and stuff. Generally speaking, I like to make sure that either we like as a team or myself are coming up with like all the ideas for shit. I feel weird about taking ideas from people that aren't on the team. I don't know why. It's just like a personal thing and like a point of pride, I guess.
So,
But also just because I don't want to have to be like pick and choose suggestions here and there and then hurt somebody's feelings because I don't pick their suggestion versus, you know, the other 1,000 of them.
how many different like combinations of like gumdrops are on the floor anyway? Is it like 2 or 3 or what?
Gumdrops. What you talking about?
Things over there on the ground. Those things. How many different combinations are there? That one's green, yellow, red, and like pink. And then that one over there is like.
Green, red again. Or it's
Are they
not.
all the same?
Yeah, they're all the
They're
same.
all the same. Oh, okay, right.
Alright, I have a little secret for you. So the textures for this demo, there's like maybe 8 or 9.
Jesus, seriously?
Yeah.
8 or 9 textures.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that is minimal. That is minimal as fuck.
I just the way everything's set up and the way it all contrasts and like the bar color stuff and the LED and like the lighting and shit.
It's something I have noticed that like you've gone a lot more minimalist compared to the Holiday Adventure last year. Because like that one had like lots of different stuff. This one it's like it's very like homogeneous.
Yeah, I have tried to make in general versus like even just Spyro. Like I'm not trying to like I want to stick closely to the sort of like PSX like aesthetic and like that kind of stuff that Spyro had, but at the same time I want this to be our own aesthetic as well. Like so certain things like this, like I'm a fan of like more minimalistic kind of stuff.
Wait, what was that? she just like sunk into the snow for a second.
Yeah, see, I don't know why that happens, and it only ever happens just randomly.
I mean,
and
it
like
looks like it happens like intentionally because like she's like standing there for too long, so she's sinking into the snow.
I wish that'd be.
That's so random though. Like why that's happening.
Yeah, I see. That's one of the quirks of the engine that I've noticed.
Nearly as buggy as Reno.
And at least that doesn't break anything. It just happens. It's a visual thing, and then it goes away. And I've only ever had it happen 3 times ever. I have no idea what the fuck causes it though. It's just random.
It is only a demo level. It's lacking like enemies and
Yeah.
things. This one. So here's another question for you. Are you going? I think you've already answered this, but I'm curious about what you're doing now. Like, are you going to add any like kind of like mini games into this level, or will it only be just like exploring the level? And
So mini games in general, me don't really mix. I don't really want to add mini games to the game.
Okay, I'm not talking Spyro 3 mini games where it goes on all these weird different genres, but like maybe things like, you know, for example, you know, in Spyro 2,
I hate Spyro.
Violence.
I hate Spyro 2's mini games.
Really?
Yeah,
Like,
I would much rather play Spyro 3's.
Like you hate like popcorn and.
I hate the Skelos Badland one that you're talking about. I fucking hate that one. Yeah,
Even
that.
the one where you just collect the bones.
Yeah, I just find that annoying. Tedious.
What else?
I genuinely I would much rather play Spyro 3's mini games.
This is
They're
funny
far
because-
less annoying to
It's
me.
funny because he. No, but okay, Spyro 3's mini games.
Yeah,
things
I
like
enjoy
the
them
rail shooter
significantly.
Or like
Yeah, I
whack-a-mole or boxing.
Yeah, I don't
or
find them that bad, to be honest. I mean, boxing is
Pluto
shit.
Or the tunnel.
Pluto is great. What the fuck
Okay,
are you
no,
talking about?
I'm not saying they're shit. I'm just suggesting them.
I don't know, like I like them, but it's not stuff I would do to this game either.
Okay, alright. So you wouldn't put in something like, say, like the tunnel mini game in Spyro 3, for example.
If I did, it would work a bit differently.
Yes, but is that a yes or a no?
It's a potential.
It's a potential. Okay.
There are certain things that I see in some of the mini games. It's like this would be cool as like just a random like power up or something. Like for instance, the tunnel thing may or may not show up in a way with the Kraken transformation.
Right. Okay.
So it makes the most sense to be there.
Oh yeah, because that's underwater, right?
Yeah, and he is able to swim against currents that
Right,
Zera can't.
Well, I mean, this isn't.
It's like, but
This is mainly just a movement tech demo. Basically, this the thing you see right here. Like, it's not. This isn't like the final level. You know, maybe they release a mini game that into it, but this is just to show off. Like, oh, here's the animation. Here's the platforming.
This is just basically, this is the tech demo in the truest sense compared to like the Spyro demos, because everybody already knows what Spyro is. Everybody knows how classic Spyro plays. Like at most, there was only ever a demo of like, you know, here's, you know, a peek into what we're gonna do with Spyro, but for the most part, also just to show you like how accurate we're getting things, I guess.
You're also kind of showing off what a game that is a spiritual successor or an inspired, you know, Spyro kind of quote unquote clone looks like. Because I remember for like about a decade, there's been a lot of people talking about making like a quote unquote Spyro clone.
Yeah.
And no one's ever, you know, made something like this, like an actual like a whole level you could play that is, you know, looks a lot like Spyro, but you know isn't Spyro. And so this is the first time you actually be able to see what it could look like.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is like not only showing off that, but also just it's just like a first impression kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
I need a way to properly like introduce Zera, like, and this is the best way, I think, really, because you can only get so close with a character just through like some random dude's YouTube videos. like I don't know, I wanted people to be able to play something, especially since all the other demos had to go down, because it just, I don't know, I like sharing this kind of stuff, and I know people have been dying to mess around with this stuff, and the full game is, you know, however long away it'll be, so.
So one person mentioned something actually that is interesting. You know, will there be underwater levels? Now, this one thing the tech demo doesn't show. It doesn't show Zera's underwater animation and stuff like that. I mean, they're not completely finished yet, as we discussed. But like yeah, so like Zera can already swim. We just don't have any water in this level. But, I mean, she swims just like Spyro, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah. In the third world, I believe it's the Kraken world. Is that the second one?
Second one.
The second one. There'll be quite a lot of levels, I assume. At least a couple.
I mean, the homeworld itself is entirely underwater, like, just entirely submerged.
Mean, you can always say like, oh, you know, this is technically a water level, except it's been frozen. So it's just really cold. That's what. I mean, it used to be in the, you know, it's in the Kraken world, except it just got really cold in this area, so that's why it's like, that's why you can't swim because it's all frozen. So here, you would be able to swim there if it wasn't like really cold.
Yeah, funnily enough, when this was gonna be a Halloween demo, this was a river.
That's right. That's true.
Also, so a fun thing about this demo, and it's probably gonna be odd to think about, and may not be able to pick out how this is the case, but this entire map was like, I wanted to try like something like Dark Earth Glimmer for the Halloween demo originally, but for our own level. So I wanted to do like, I wanted to take the original Holiday Adventure map and like modify it like I did to Glimmer to come up with like the Halloween sort of thing. Of course, that never happens as far as like Halloween, but I did end up taking this and modifying it to the point where like this was originally like the original Holiday Adventure map. It's just it's damn near unrecognizable at this point. Like the most direct and obvious thing that you could potentially notice is that there's a river like going down the center of a part of it, which is this. But even then, you can't really tell because it's like this has been widened by like, I don't even know how much. There's a tunnel now. There's actual like layers to.
Two different levels of the platforms.
Yeah, and there's a lot more verticality to this level than the Holiday Adventure.
Like, where you're standing right there, there used to be like the door there into the next part, right? Like yeah, that was like you could get all the stuff and you go through the door like right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
No, actually. So, because of the way this was set up. Yeah, it was over there.
Oh, I see.
And you would actually see the other thing too is the cave, like the cave that you go through here. This was actually like connected to where the slide is now, but I've lowered all this down. Like it, and I would have to like show side by sides of areas to really give like a full like I don't know how to describe what got done to this map, but it's essentially it. I probably replaced and or touched every single part of this map
So
in the
really,
process of done this. Yeah.
Cannibalized its own previous holiday adventure.
Yeah. It needed to be done. But I'm quite pleased with how it turned out.
Someone said the ice controls are great, even better than Spyro. Let's be MMA. So that. Also, her walking is slower than Spyro. Everyone's kind of talked about that so far. Like,
Yeah, so her walking is pretty slow, but it was intentionally done to be slow.
You're supposed to charge everywhere, basically. That's kind of the intention.
Yeah, like I don't expect most people to walk most of the map, to be honest. At least I would hope they wouldn't. For me, like, this game is more about, like, just, you know, messing around with the movement in general of, like, everything. Like, the walk's there to just kind of, I don't know, be adorable, and
Yeah.
because I guess you need to sometimes be able to walk, but I don't think it's detrimental to be able to move that slowly with that. Like, I have zero problem controlling her with that, or turning with it.
Apparently, Zera was created out of nothing but magic by Gaia.
Gaia. It's Gaia.
Gaia. How did Cyrenius? Oh, sorry. How did Gaia create Zera? Blast of magic, born from a flower, shaped from mud.
Well, I mean, I don't. So in Greek mythology, Gaia is like goddess of
she
like.
She created an axolotl, so she was like
Oh god, let's
realized that was dumb.
let's not go into the background of. So Gaia in Greek mythology is like Mother Earth essentially, like creator of like all life kind of shit. So like Gaia is not only responsible for creating Zera, but also like a bunch of other things, like the other bosses that are in the game, and like the worlds and the NPCs and everything like that. And like essentially, it's like her last-ditch effort to stop Medusa, and so she needs to create, you know, a new myth.
She's pretty exhausted. She's like, oh, she's crazy.
I don't know. I don't want to spoil.
Really based on anything. Like, she's
No.
Original.
Yeah,
And
Zera.
two different animals.
Yeah.
Which is like bat and axolotl. Like she has no basis other than Cyrenius' creativity. So I guess the Gaia is kind of like the insert for Cyrenius.
Sort of.
If you want to get meta.
I guess. I don't know, it's just like she's like the creator of everything, but she's done so much or whatever. It's I don't want to spoil shit though. Is the thing. Like I don't want to get too deep into the story of stuff. Although I will say this is Gaia over here. The replacement for Zoe was actually. Oh god, everybody says that, but she's a way bigger part of the story than people realize. Just for now, without knowing story or cutscenes, she basically is discount Zoe, but it won't be like that for long.
Someone asked, is she slow when she charges from Spyro?
Oh god, no, she's way faster.
She's way faster than Spyro, really.
In general, just when it was Miss Awaken, like as a Spyro game, she was generally faster than Spyro in almost every aspect. Like I think her original walking speed.
Faster than when this was a Spyro game.
No. I think I kept the speed for her charge pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same, right? Okay.
But it was already faster than actual Spyro.
Right, already faster than Spyro.
Yeah, so that's a lot of the stuff. There's a lot of like things that I sped up in general to be faster than OG Spyro. And some of those got changed more. Like her glide, she glides pretty fast now. She gets the same amount of distance, but it takes less time to get that distance now.
Someone says she's kind of tiny for a goddess, referring to Gaia. You'd expect giving birth to an entire world would give her fun
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, I can't do that. It looks very difficult. Let's have a look at her, yeah.
Yeah, there's Gaia.
The goddess of life, right?
I forget what her actual thing is.
Let's
Like,
look it up. Let's look it up. Because when I think of Gaia, I think of Age of Empires, too, where like they're like it's like a if you encounter them, they become part of your team automatically, like straight away. So they're not like aligned. You just like encounter them. And you get
Oh.
with them. That's what I think of when I think of Gaia. Gaia. The sonification of Earth. Yeah. She's the ancestral mother of all life, the primal mother Earth goddess. Yeah, that's what it says.
yeah. So that's essentially the backstory for her, or at least as much as I'm willing to reveal for this game thus far. Yeah. So for now, while she does act in as like a sort of Zoe replacement as far as checkpoints go, expect her to have a far more significant role than Zoe ever did. She is essentially like taking the place of like Bianca, Alora, Professor, and Zoe. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's maybe a good idea because I feel like maybe Spyro creates too many characters.
like she is like the quintessential like the guide character, like Alora was in Spyro 2, but she's also one that pushes the plot forward, like Professor or Bianca or Hunter, like, and she's also pivotal to just the plot's beginnings and, you know.
Maybe in Gaia.
Oh God. I think I threw up a little bit.
Is Zera's model is she symmetrical?
What do you mean? Is she symmetrical?
Is her model symmetrical?
Yeah. It's even on all sides.
It creates unrealistic beauty standards, I think. So.
Gonna have to like give one of her sides
Give her
like.
a massive mole on her butt.
Yeah, I quite like symmetry.
Quote of the year. I quite like symmetry by Cereals.
I feel like I've said some worse things this year. So, is that the best quote you've got for me?
Said was, I'm gonna buy Reignited. I think that's the
That was a decision that I made.
I'm getting quite drunk, by the way, guys. I'm gonna buy Waver again too, so maybe
I need to actually like finish my first. I'm starting to sober up.
Is Gaia equivalent to Sparks? Not really.
No. I mean, I guess
Sparks,
there is no Sparks equivalent. This
I guess like it's
so
Zera's closest friend, I guess, in that case.
yeah, I mean, and I guess technically you could say that like you could make the argument that maybe she does act as Sparks and she gives Zera like the magic that allows her to pull in the relics in the first place, or what, I don't know. Like, but there's a lot of things like that I kind of wanted to avoid doing with this game, simply because either A, Spyro did it, or a lot of other platforms did it. Like the buddy character, like Banjo Kazooie, Spyro with Sparks, Ratchet and Clank, like even a lot of modern ones like. Yeah, it's like Ukulele. There's Clive and Wrench, Jack and Daxter. There's also like shit. Well, now I had other ones in my head. And
No, it is kind of a funny thing, yeah.
Like I think everybody expected it for this because Spyro had it, but that's the thing. It's both the joy and disappointment to some people that this is a spiritual successor rather than like a fan sequel because.
Like on the nose to have like a flying, I don't know.
I had ideas for one, but I just didn't want to do it.
You don't need
So
to do it. You really don't need to do it.
no, that's one of the things. So like this is both like a gift to me to be able to do more so what I want with things, but also exciting for a lot of people. But also some people are gonna find it a little disappointing that it's not like, you know, truer, I guess, to what Spyro did, but it's like I don't want to retread the same ground and just like literally make a clone.
Also, it's kind of the way that Spyro works is kind of flawed because it makes it seem like Spyro is a big fucking wimp because basically he needs Sparks to protect him for like 4 hits, and if he doesn't have Sparks, then he dies straight away. It's like, wow, who's the dragon here? Like the dragon dies straight away without the dragonfly. So I mean, at least this kind of makes it seem like, you know, Zera is more kind of tough, you know, on her own. So in a way, it's kind of better.
quote of the year goes to Wretched 5. Spyro's a big pussy. No, it's just there's a lot of stuff I wanted to do differently, not just simply for the sake of doing things differently, because it's no longer Spyro, but I want to make sure this stands apart from Spyro in a way. Like I've seen some comments like, oh, I can't believe she runs like on, or like she's not like a full-on quadruped like Spyro is. Like I've seen that complaint, and it's like, all right, but like I guess it's a spiritual successor, but that doesn't mean it's a clone. Like I have to do everything like Spyro did. I'm not gonna have like fucking green dragon named Pete or some shit. Like we're gonna do some things a little bit differently, and also I want to leave my own. Yeah, there's also like there's stuff I want to do with this to make my own. I want to make it my own in general, like with like the more minimalistic graphics and stuff like that. Like I really do enjoy like this level, despite there being like 8 fucking textures in the whole thing.
He purposely put like the PlayStation logo and everything before the start of the game, so there's a part of him that does feel that like connection to that though.
Like I don't know, it's just like there's stuff I want to do differently, and there's also just stuff I want to change. Like Spyro, much as I love the games, I don't think it's like a flawless trilogy, the originals. Like there are things that I would have done differently, or would like to just see improved upon or expanded upon, and revisited. I don't know. And there's also just stuff I want to personally do for my own game. So, like everything's not going to be one-to-one how Spyro would have done it, nor do I think it should be. I think that'd be kind of boring.
Yeah. So someone asked, is she going to be the only playable character? And the answer to that is yes and no.
Yeah, technically, she's the only playable character. Yeah. Technically. Technically, that's the key word there. Technically, she is the only playable character. Technically, we'll leave it at that. Even though it's not really a secret, if you dig around, you can find out what I mean by that.
Sai really hates making skybox. It's not the easy one.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried before and I fucking hate it, but I had to actually. So the thing was with this demo, I was like, all right, I need to like everything has to be swapped out. I can't use like Spyro textures, so like I had to learn to make textures from scratch a lot better than I was before for this level. Like all the stuff had to be replaced. The skybox had to be done from scratch. Like it was interesting, and this was also like the first level I've modeled like in full like this. I previously just typically would adjust stuff in the level models, but this one I actually just modeled. So that was fun. Question mark.
Someone asked, John Calder asked, do each of the bosses represent one of the rulers of the layers of Earth in Greek mythology? Griffin is Zeus in air, Cerberus is Hades underground, and Kraken is Poseidon underwater.
Sure. Sure. Now they're really just meant to represent like the 4 elements. Like, yeah. Like they both. Like they line up with their respective bosses. Like each homeworld is themed after like one of the 4 elements, and the corresponding boss that goes with it is also of that element. It's more so just it was my way of trying to match up while also doing something a little bit different to like the way Spyro themed its homeworlds and stuff like that. Like Spyro 1 has like the I guess I would call it like occupations for Spyro 1, like artisans, peacekeepers, peacemakers. I know, but I could not for the life of me think of anything else. It did also allow me to do cool shit with like Greek mythology though.
So like
yeah.
Double thing anyway, so it's not just the elements.
Yeah, and it is paired a little bit differently than the way Spyro did it. Whereas like Spyro's was like oh, now I forgot what the fuck I was gonna say. That sucks for whoever was listening to that conversation expecting it to go somewhere interesting.
When I was a kid, I tried to think of like different ways you could make each homeworld like one of many things.
It's kind of difficult.
It is. Like a lot of them have been taken so far.
It's like you have the occupations with Spyro 1, and then Spyro 2 you have, well, it's a season, yeah, season and time of day.
I think I was thinking like.
Or no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too related to like our solar system. So
yeah.
You can't really have that one either.
Yeah, it's like there's occupations, seasons, time of day, And then it's like, all right, well, what the fuck else do you do from there that's like condensed enough and thematic enough to really work off of? I swear I had another idea, and I've long forgotten what it was. It was like my alternative to this if it didn't work out.
It's kind of like its own mythology and elements, so it's
Yeah. And that was my way of further like tying it together.
So yeah, Zera is supposed to be a cross between a bat and an axolotl. There will be a skin where you can put her as her original form, which is a
Oh god, no.
which is an axolotl and a sugar glider.
No. Nope. Nope. I'm so glad I switched that, by the way. She looks so much fucking better now.
She looked really cuddly before that.
I mean, yeah, she was very cuddly before, but like, have you looked at the old model recently? Yeah, everybody fucking says it. I don't see the Teletubby comparison, but I do see how she. I mean, I guess, yeah, but she was just way too cuddly before, and she didn't have like enough personality.
She does have a bit of an edge now.
Yeah, but she's still fucking adorable.
She is adorable, yeah.
Like, just look at her when she walks. She's just so happy. It's too cute. Like when she screeches and stuff. Like, she's just adorable.
Who voiced Roz in Monsters Inc? She could voice Zera. Always watching, Medusa. Always watching.
Oh god. So, speaking of voicing Zera, I'm pretty sure I've decided that she doesn't have a voice. She's not going to speak.
Is she gonna do like a little squeak when she gets hurt though?
I've thought about that. I have thought about giving her like little squeak sounds or something just to be like adorable. But yeah, she's not gonna talk most likely.
We already hear a kind of a voice when she screeches. And I think it fits pretty well, I think.
Yeah, the funny thing is, nobody liked that sound when I first posted it as like, oh, preview, but it's like, in context, I think it really does work.
I like the sound. I don't see a problem. Yeah, no. Why do people hate that sound?
Well, they didn't think it was like gonna work or whatever, so everybody had like suggestions as for what to make the sound for her screech, and I'm just like, just trust me.
So when's the Zera body pillow being released?
Oh god, never.
I would say that someone in the comments suggested that, no, but that was
Of course. Why wouldn't it be?
Zera, voiced by Danny DeVito.
Jesus.
Yes, there will be voice acting. Probably.
Just not for Zera.
Just not for Zera.
Zera, we're gonna go with a cliche number 3001 from like, early 2000s, late 2000s games. Silent protagonist.
Well, I mean, Spyro is very inconsistent because he's voiced in all the cutscenes, but he doesn't say a word like during any of the levels.
Yeah.
So I think it's good. You think that's good?
Yeah, because they do the direct slides.
Okay, but that was because that game was bad.
No, I mean like.
I think it actually, if they did that in the original, it would have been alright, but like, I mean, I can't imagine it now.
Hey,
Oh god.
Stop. No, okay, you don't have to
Youch.
do that.
Whatever the fuck that was.
Youch. Okay, okay, so this is.
It's just bad.
Giving a bad example.
like Spyro one Japanese. Like,
Oh god.
Alright, saying bad examples or something. Alright.
The only examples are all bad ones.
Okay. In Zera's case, I'm definitely very good at so
Yeah,
I can't imagine a voice actor for her. It would be ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the main reason, really. I can't imagine what she could possibly sound like that wouldn't sound out of place. Yeah, okay, so it would fit, but it would just make you want to punch her in the face. She'd be so annoying. Like, can you imagine, like, just this tiniest, softest, like, just little soft squeak voice? Like, she would just be so fucking annoying. Her voice would be so awful to hear. Like, I would rather she just, like, squeak like some fucking, like, Spyro 2 or 3 Spark shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, no dialogue from Zera. Like, and we're not gonna do the whole, she doesn't actually say anything, but subtitles appear thing either.
No,
like,
no.
she's not gonna do that shit either. It's just, no talkie from Zera. It's just not a voice I think would be fitting and proper enough for her to have dialogue. And I think it also adds to her adorableness that she doesn't speak. Like, she's just like, wee baby Zera, just born into the world
She gets
to...
on with the job. She doesn't really have
And she's just like, she was born, you know, like yesterday. So she, you know, she doesn't talk. She can't talk.
You could go to full mile and give her like a whole lot of like catchphrases or references. You know, she becomes the new Gex.
Oh God. Oh, I remember somebody asked earlier, and I never.
Die Hard when it was cold outside.
So somebody asked this earlier, and I never responded. What are the tree NPCs called in this? They're called conifers, and they all have tree pun names because I am awful. Like, also ignore the little bug there with the counter. Like, yeah, Jennifer. There's like Fernanda.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking bad. I feel both amused and proud, and also highly ashamed of myself for what I've done.
Yeah, so he's just showing up a bug here.
Well, also I was just trying to reload the level, but I didn't honestly want to restart the demo and rehook it up on stream.
All these bugs we finished within a couple. I mean, fixed within a couple of days. Right?
Yeah, Gwynnifer, for fuck's sake. I was starting to really struggle to come up with names where fur would fit in there. It was bad, but I was committed. I don't honestly remember what I named all of them. Pfeiffer. Jesus. You little bitch.
I mean, did you actually keep the voice in of this guy?
Yeah, the problem is it's like really, really low volume.
Yeah, I mean, that was voiced by our very own JJ
Yes.
a couple of days ago. Any egg/orb challenges somehow?
I don't know.
I think
Fergie.
What you're probably gonna do is you're gonna probably make each level and you're gonna decide afterwards.
Oh, no, look at that sweet ass typo. Yeah. You can control your slide, however, and jump TP clear the gap at the bottom with a spin. Somebody pointed. I have somebody on like who has access to this shit before I released the demo. Like 2 weeks ago, they told me that typo was there, and I forgot about it until somebody else pointed it out after I released the demo. So that, you know, I still don't think I added that to my list of things to fix. Yeah, and I just didn't fucking do it. This is the problem with like low priority stuff like that. It'll just sit there for a hot minute, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I should probably do that. Now I had to patch out a typo because my dumbass didn't remember repeatedly. Rip. Oh, and there go my dogs. Oh yeah, definitely have some food.
You can have some too.
I don't want any pizza. No, I'm good. I'm good on that.
I've only had 2, but I'm so drunk already.
I still need to finish my first.
Oh dear.
And I'm yawning. Oh no, I threw it away.
I'll figure it out.
So, hi everybody, it's just me now, all alone here. Just, you know, streaming away, playing this game. Read chat. So did Medusa create the snacks? Or is she a snack? Yes and no. Or rather, yes. So your 2 questions, yes. But also no. I don't really know how to explain that at the moment. I also kind of want to not explain it. So sorry, I'm like slowly kind of not playing here and there because I'm reading chat, trying to find stuff to answer about. So as far as like the turning into defeated bosses thing is concerned, like that power up is still there. Like that's still a thing that was planned for this that ties into with like the themes and gameplay that I wanted to be able to experiment and mess around within this. It's still there. You can still transform. It's still gonna work exactly the same way. That's the fun of, despite the cease and desist, because the way you planned things, certain things like that just can stay in exactly as they were planned to be. Don't have to change a thing about how I was gonna do that because it was just something we were coming up with to do. So yeah, definitely there will be transformation shenanigans. I'm not really gonna say much more about them though. And this has to do with the technicality that I mentioned earlier. Like I'll let people figure it out if they don't know, because I'm mean and I like to tease people. So yeah, that has to do with the technicality we talked about earlier. Are the vases ceramic or metal? Ceramic, I guess. I think they're ceramic, I would say. Sign, maybe you should try doing the power-ups like how later Crash titles handle them, new movement options when defeating a boss. Alright, so the thing about that is, I don't actually want to add different movement to her. Like, I don't want to give, like, random assortment of, like, abilities to unlock kind of thing. I also don't want to do backtracking either, because that's another thing that came about as a result of the way Spyro and Crash both handled that kind of stuff, is the forced backtracking. I don't like that. Won't be having any of it in Zera. To be honest, like, I would rather you be able to properly go through a level and complete stuff. Don't you clap at my death. Like, also, I just feel like Zera's current moveset is filled out. Like, everybody, like, I've seen a lot of people want, like, oh, they should give this power up or this power up to, like, Spyro the next game or whatever. It's like, as fun and all as that is, it's like, at a certain point, you want to stop adding power-ups or moves to a character because they're, you know, the repertoires, it's full. Like, they don't need any more moves. You're just overcomplicating it. And I feel like if I added anything more to Zera, just overcomplicated. And I honestly don't think there's any, like, need that, like, is missing that needs to be filled with another move for the gameplay. Like, if I could find something that could be, you know, simply implemented without disrupting the overall, like, gameplay that's already there, while adding to it in a substantial way, I would definitely consider it. But it would just be something you had by default. I don't like the idea of, like, backtracking stuff like that, or, like, gating stuff off in that way. It's one thing a lot of platformers kind of sucked at was they tended to cheaply gate off progress like that, or not even necessarily gate it off, but just pad gameplay length by forcing you to have an inability to complete stuff for no fault of your own. Let's see. Just sell the game on Steam or just sell it in general? I have zero plan to do anything money related to the game at the moment. There's no plan for selling this or donations or anything like that right now. Will there be a world where the locals make gym containers or blah 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 blah? No, probably not. That's weird. Just looked away for a second, looked back, and she was sticking it in the ground again. I don't know how the fuck that happens. I don't know about a level that has that necessarily. Like, maybe if it came along naturally as, like, just an idea that fits, maybe. But it's hard to say that there would be a level like that. Just it's a very specific purpose for a level. I don't know that it would exist. Yeah. So, will you remove the live system? All right. So, I don't know if anybody's noticed this in all of the Spyro Miss Awaken demos or even this demo thus far. There hasn't actually been a live system. That's not by accident. or like because we didn't have time to put the feature in or whatever. Like, there's just not lives in the game. I never intended to include them. I still don't, and I will never include them. Like, lives are just not a thing that I want in the game or think the game needs. It's kind of like arbitrary, fake difficulty. Doesn't actually make the gameplay more difficult or challenging. It just adds frustration element to it, which doesn't really serve to do anything. It's just kind of like a holdover from like arcade areas where they used to do that shit to pad gameplay and also nickel and dime you. So there's a reason a lot of modern games have gotten rid of live systems, because they're pretty fucking useless, vast majority of the time. Spyro 1 was doable in one go. Spyro 2 and 3 had forced backtracking. Yeah, that's the thing. Much as I love Spyro 3, like the backtracking kind of blows at times.
There's no real penalty for dying apart from going back to the last checkpoint.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like there's not a real downside to dying. Like it's to the point where sometimes it's useful to die to purposely death abuse the checkpoint. Like get sent back somewhere else so you don't have to actually walk back to it. Like from here, like say I had everything over here and it's like, all right, I need to get back over to another area. It's like death abuse and then end up over here, and now I can go on to like this area or something like that. It like lives don't really make or break or make any difference really in a game like this. Hey Sad, you watched Nitro Red? I watched some of his stuff on occasion. I've dove through like a gigantic portion of his 3D platformer videos. That's why I'm really behind on chat. Sell the soundtrack? Probably not gonna sell the soundtrack. Zera bite down on fodder like a vampire bat? Probably not. If I do what I've been thinking about doing with fodder, which I'm still not 100% sure how that actually is gonna operate. Like I don't think people are gonna expect what she's gonna do if I hit a.
Like, when you fill it, like a light force comes out, like a little spirit,
Nope.
and then it goes into you and then increases your health.
No. It's gonna be, I think, kind of like how Spyro's worked in a sense, but I'm not really gonna say any more about it. But yeah, it'll be interesting for most people. Definitely, probably not expected. In fact, I'm not sure even if logically it would make much sense, but I find it highly amusing in my head, so I'm gonna try it at some point. But we'll see. I won't say much more about how like health stuff works, other than the fact that the plan currently is, as far as a health indicator, to show her colors changing in some way on her body. So basically, she's had like Sparks' abilities integrated into her design. Like, she doesn't need Sparks. There's another reason why the buddy system was a no-go, because there's zero use for it with her after the way everything's been put into place. Like, a buddy at this point would just do nothing but follow you around. Kind of pointless. So yeah, there will be some like visual color change with her to show her health, but fodder is stuff that'll remain a mystery for now until I've worked it out fully. Wonder how people react to the lack of a death penalty, considering how A's life system has been. You think it will make the game feel easier for people? I mean, Spyro is an easy game, so like I don't care if people think it's easier or whatever. Like, the game is for me just like casual and sort of fun. There's like a challenge there if you sort of want it, but I don't know. Like, I'm not concerned about a lack of a penalty for death. Like, the penalty is you get set back a small amount, but and you had to redo the platforming that you were trying to do. Because I think the penalty in and of itself is that you have to redo the area that you died at. Like if you were trying to do this bit of platforming here, you'd have to redo it because you fucked up. So that for me is enough. I don't think you need like a counter for that. Like I think it's just arbitrary at that point. Like the penalty itself is just having to redo something, which I think makes sense because like you obviously have to do it to actually be able to move on. So I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly. I'm a little drunk. How do you feel about Nitro? I like Nitro quite a bit. There's some things with the controls and just sort of like game design wise that I'm not entirely like on board with, but I recognize that it's simply because the developer is just on sort of a different page as far as the kind of games and stuff they like and the kind of level design they like than I am personally. So we just don't necessarily see eye to eye and wouldn't do things the same. Nor would I expect us to do the same because I mean we're very different people. So, but it's cool. I do like seeing it, and I like just kind of playing around. Like the new demo with Scrapyard included, and it's just really fun. And the hidden secret thing, super secret stuff that's in there, is just fucking beautiful. It's a masterpiece of a level. Like it's just so fun to play through the Nitro demo. So if you haven't already played it, people should go check it out. I like Astrocat a lot. I don't see many updates about Astrocat. I feel like they get kind of spaced out quite a bit, but I quite enjoy them. And thanks for the luck, Tyler. How long has this stream been going for at this point? It's been like an hour?
No.
Longer than an hour? I'm like barely able to keep track.
Like 12:30 now.
It's what?
12:30.
It's 12:30? The fuck?
12:30.
When did we get back from Chick-fil-A? What? How fucking long have I been streaming?
Long time.
What in the fuck?
Check on OBS.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold on a second. I gotta check OBS because I'm very confused as to what the hell. When did I've only been live for an hour and a half. That's not bad. I was like, holy shit, how long have I been live? Yeah. I don't know if anybody has more questions about stuff.
So he's gonna redo quite a few levels. Rural Valley.
Yeah.
Citadel. Is Camus Falls being redone?
Yeah. So JJ and Ratchet went to go get food. They are back now. FYI. They were eating. They've been back for a minute or so, but they've been eating. So.
Yeah.
Oh no, JJ's just quiet.
Still two slices left.
I want to get some more RAM for my laptop. That's I don't really care about these. I'm serious.
I need more beer is what I want.
By the way, I got $20 on me. That'd probably be good enough for RAM.
Zethical says,
Oh yeah, right.
sounds hella gay. You would know, wouldn't you, Zeth?
I would know.
Is Zeph Cat the same as
What? No. Cutter is Zera Seth. Zeth is Zethical in the chat. He's a friend who has the big gay. Oh, I looked away. Whoops. Rip.
Now you're gonna make this redo this level and make it after global warming. See what?
Yeah. Those are starting to haunt me.
I'm excited to be able to do Twisted Hollows. I think it'll be fun.
This is Hollows. What world is that in?
the same one.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, you've how many worlds are there per world again?
4.
Alright, okay.
Yeah, it's been trimmed down a bit from what it was planned to be, just because the scope was a little big before, I think. Also, just because of everything that has to get done, it's necessary.
Have you even touched Wimble Way in the last year?
No, that was always gonna get redone. It just never got touched again. So it'll probably get pushed back. It's not gonna be in the first homeworld anymore. Neither will.
I mean, that makes sense for the air homeworld, though. You know, it's like something else.
I mean, the levels aren't necessarily themed around the homeworlds.
I know, but still.
Yeah, you have this thing about that, but like.
I have this thing. Excuse me. No, it's like, I mean, okay, well, let me think about like an example. Oh, never mind, I can't.
Hold on, let me give you an example as to why I'm correct. And that's the thing. It's like I kind of like that. Like Spiral 1's cool in the sense that it's very much like everything's themed around stuff like that.
Try to make up reasons for why certain worlds are in the same homeworld as Spiral 3, though. I can't remember what it was, but
I don't give a shit what their reasons are for that. The fan theories.
I mean, it probably doesn't make much sense because like Sunny Villa and Desert Ruin are completely different worlds, and they're probably the most similar, you know, because they're both like Southern European.
What's like the architecture, like the
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's yeah. There's like for me, it's more so about like I kind of like 2 and 3 in this regard because of that. Like just the way they handled that stuff. Like you never knew what you were gonna get walking through a portal for the first time. It could be anything.
Well, I mean, you know, I said that meme before about how like this is it is a ward level, but it's been iced over. But yeah, I fully admit that like it doesn't necessarily have to actually relate to what the world is. But still, Windmill Way would make sense in the air world. That's all.
Yeah, I mean,
That's all I'm saying.
I'm hesitant to say it's gonna be there because I don't know if I find it interesting enough a world.
Valley and the other one I'm not sure. Rusty Barrens don't really make much sense. It's best of all, even better than this. No, but like it will be.
What doesn't make much sense?
Oh, Canvas Falls, Rusty Barrens, and Drury Valley being in the air world. Those don't make much sense. But
Well, what world would they make sense to be in? They're not themed around. They're not themed.
Canvas Falls, probably Earth because it's like the color comes from the Earth.
It's Canvas Falls though. It's about like all the paint liquid
Here
stuff.
is the lore, alright?
Fine, maybe the water.
Kansas Falls is a microscopic world
Oh my God.
inside the sink in an art room in middle school.
What does that got to do with air?
Nothing. That's the new setting.
Oh my
It's
God.
not in the air. It's
I am not nearly drunk enough for this conversation.
Rusty Barrens. Is that like a desert world? Rusty Barrens?
yes, that's in
Rusty Baron. Oh, Rusty Baron's not like a desert world or desert world.
Is it
necessarily.
like
It's like a scrap world.
okay,
Oh,
okay,
it's in the
so
junkyard.
It's a dead. It's a dead. It's like a dead scrapyard.
okay, so that would be Earth again, maybe? Question mark, question mark, question mark?
I don't know.
And then the last one, Drury Valley, that would be water because it's all grainy. So. Still. Okay, look,
They're all in
okay.
the forgotten world.
Alright, point made. I'm suggesting that maybe there should be a world in each world that actually relates to the theme of the world. Yeah. so
See,
the
I
Windmill
see.
Way
I think
would
that
be
feels more inconsistent because then you expect, the rest of them to be themed around it. If it's just like, okay, you walk through a portal and you don't know where you're gonna get, like it's. I like that.
Really doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, I'm just. Oh. I'll stop talking now.
What about jack-o'-lantern enemies and twisted hollows? They're bouncing towards you or crawling on spider legs made of vines. Either way, able to breathe fire from the candle in their throat. I have no idea. No idea.
Someone says that their speaker is maxed out.
It's Nitro Dev, a hero.
A little bit late, an hour and a half into the stream.
Rip. Let me do a thing. Maybe I can fix.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. My speakers are on like 40% or 48%.
You have earbuds in though, or headphones, right though?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm like,
There's not really much you can do.
no.
You're using like he's using like a crappy earbud microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't really have a proper setup for this whole
You
scenario.
have like the YouTuber microphone. Like,
No.
It has like the filter on it.
I've got that kind of stuff. I just don't have a. I have a $300 microphone sitting in my closet somewhere.
What? Why haven't you used it yet?
I don't have an interface anymore. I sold the interface because I never used it.
No, I don't know why it's there.
You guys not gonna eat it?
I am not. Nope.
Maybe I'll eat it later.
I was thinking about eating it, but I was like, no.
Why didn't you say this pizza was done? It's not done. You lied.
A bestiary for like enemies. I mean, there could be possibly. I would see. This is one thing I wanted to do when it was Spyro still, was to make the tome a bit more interesting in terms of what all it shows. The fuck are you guys talking about?
Sorry. Alright, it's an hour and a half into the stream and a level it takes 6 minutes, alright? We can't blame us too much.
So like I wanted to include more information in like the tome than like say the guidebook or Atlas ever did. Like yeah, there's a picture of like whatever the place looks like, and as well as like information about like just like, well, they had the challenges and stuff that you would get, like either the eggs from or the orbs and all that kind of shit. And you guys are, I'm losing my train of thought and I cannot recover it very quickly. I don't know, like you had like the descriptions of that. We don't have mini games though, so there's more room for like other shit, like lore. Like I want, you know, like some backstory to like the worlds and what they're about, and why they exist, or what they do, or the NPCs that live there, or like something that would be cool. Like I guess you suggested just the bestiary. Like that would be a neat thing to have somewhere in the tome. Like once you've seen an enemy in a no, you may not. I specifically disabled it because it's not ready.
So are all those assets in this disabled?
What?
Like, okay, is there a swimming animation in here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I mean, if I had Cheat Engine up, I could probably make her swim right now.
Slightly less cold, Jollyland.
global warming.
Jollyland after global warming. Yeah, exactly.
Where's fucking Steve Blockhead when I need him? I need him to like tell me how to use Cheat Engine. Like, and I need Steve Blockhead to like fucking get on here and hack this shit so I can like, I don't know, dick around and do dumb shit with it. You know, it's funny. I keep wanting to like leave something in the code for him to find. Like I want to name something like in the code, like "Hello Steve" or something, just so when he finds it inevitably in a video, it'll just be hilarious.
Hello to you too. Sorry.
Like it's basically like I want him to know that I know what he's doing.
How much worlds would there be? Apparently 16 plus home worlds. So funny.
Yeah, essentially, just
And,
four. It's 4 times
there's gonna
4.
be 4 speedways.
Nope.
Is there gonna be some like building costs?
Oh yeah. So microtransactions. Let's talk about that. Big part of the game. I love it really. As well as loot boxes. You know, we gotta have those. Just in general. Character skins, definitely a thing that's gonna cost at least $30 a piece. You know, I mean, in fact, I think you probably would just get the demo for full price, and then like you have to buy every stage after that. Like we could do some episodic shit like that.
Yeah.
And also, I think like a lot of the assets, like maybe some of the character models, just don't appear if you don't buy like the character pack. Yeah, and they could be like a collector's thing, like Skylanders, like they could be like figurines or something.
Yeah,
Maybe you have to buy like a set to actually, you know, access every single stage has one.
When we say stage, we mean like part of it.
Yeah, so like that room back there, that's a statue you need. These NPCs, they won't show up if you don't got the statue, and you gotta have like, yeah, you also gotta have the platform to set them on IRL. That's at least a couple grand.
These things
I think
aren't
it's
cheap,
worth the
alright,
price.
guys?
Yeah.
I'd buy it.
My god. Put a cease and desist for Steve in the comment lines. Yeah.
Get off this game. This is illegal. Outside, who's gonna have like an annoying countdown thing for this? And once it gets to 10 seconds, it makes a horrible noise.
No, I thought about making these make noises for that kind of stuff. But
I'd do that. Just to annoy the fuck out of
yeah, they gave me a crash course on my on their business strategy when they came to give me the cease and desist.
By the way, Simon made all these 3D models himself of the numbers. It apparently took up like a whole day or something. Very cool.
It was fucking annoying to make the 3 numbers. That's all I'll say.
They're like awesome.
Also, then to make like the HUD like font and shit, because Unity doesn't like to use images as font by default. It's like some big fucking process. That was fun. So I had to like, I had to like find a good font first, then go into Photoshop, put it in there, put some effects on it to give it like the 3D look. And I had to export it, then import that into Blender the image, and then 3D model it all. Then export every single one of those fucking letters and numbers individually, and then set them up in Unity, give them all the same shader effect, and then like fucking render an image of each of those, and then split those all up and put them in as like font and also individual like numbers, letters. I got some thoughts about the process that was.
How many walls would there be? There'll be 4. One for each element.
That's like 47 extra for the
So there's Sky Citadel, that's the first homeworld or overworld. And then there's Briny Deep, it's the second overworld. And then from there you've got Inferno Caverns, and then Crystal Range. Those are the 4.
Will there be an explanation for where all these relics came from?
Yeah, so there's actually there's some relevant like plot and lore details that have been sort of leaked about intentionally. I'm not gonna share them on stream. Some of them, well, I've shared some of them, but I'm not gonna share anymore just because I'm a little drunk and I'm half remembering things.
Or is the kind of thing where you have to do very minimal work and people seem to like get a boner about it?
I see, that's true. You can do like minimal work with this shit, but I like to.
Oh, I gotta know about this world.
I don't know. I do like to put some effort into it, like a little bit.
All you need to do is just leave like clever like kind of posters everywhere, like hinting about things, and people do the work for you. Basically.
I know, but I like more than just like, oh, it's a fan theory. I know what you mean by it. I'm just like, I want I want there to be a little bit more substance to the lore than fan theories alone.
Will each boss require you to take the form of the previous boss to defeat them?
I'll let you know when I figure that out.
You could do it like they have to require all the abilities of like all of the previous bosses. So Medusa might need like water, is she ground or she's ground, right?
Yeah.
Water, fire, and
I've thought about that. It'll be interesting, and it'll just kind of depend on how the bosses in general their fights turn out, because that's not something that's been settled on. It's one of those things of we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I'm not entirely sure how I want that to work. I forget what the fuck I was gonna say before we got into that. Shit. What are you guys doing? Did you just spill beer like all over yourself and your computer?
yeah. I'll go get this.
Oh my god.
I'll be right back. Oh, I've had 3 and I'm toast.
My god, man.
I've had one, but I'm tired.
Yeah, I've had part of one. Oh, that's I would probably be a little bit drunk if I was drinking that. I don't know what I said.
The first one, I screwed that one. I can't even use the excuse that I was drunk because
Yeah, it's the best excuse,
I
really.
opened the other two for you, so
it was a good idea.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream because this was just like really impromptu and I was bored, and also, yeah, didn't expect this to be like a huge Q&A thing, but it
was
sort
like
of
a lot
turned
of
into
work.
that.
A lot of work went into making this, lots of hours, schooling hours, probably very interesting to some new people about how we did everything.
Oh my god.
Special thanks to LO Officer.
Yes.
Who
Came
else?
in clutch at the last second with some lighting help, and then
Oh yeah, and there's Frank as well.
yeah, Frank doing some
AKA Pinball 297.
yeah, helping out here and there with a few issues.
Zera Seth, of course.
Yeah, Zera,
Uli for the design of
the
Zera.
original version, but at the same time also fuck Uli. Just for the bullshit, cheap old. She knows why.
And who else?
V-Grips for like the original map, of which I mean, there's basically none of it left now, but it gave me something to work off of initially, anyways. And he did help with the original holiday adventure, so. And there's some design inspirations from that, so it was based on that map. Ghosty for helping with animation work. Although rip Ghosty and his help with animation work because his fucking computer just like died. It's fucking dead. Can't believe he fucking died.
Yeah, we're starting a Kickstarter by Ghosty new computers.
We could do that, but let's just buy him another toaster. But like this time an actual toaster.
Yeah, we're setting the goal as 40 USD.
Yeah, we need to literally buy him a new toaster. This computer was so bad.
My laptop was like 100 USD.
I'm trying to think. Everybody in like the fucking Zera Discord server, like, thank you for actually sticking around after everything that happened with like the team fragmenting and fucking cease and desist. Like, thanks for sticking around and being supportive and also just being interested, because it makes my day when people actually give a shit about what I'm doing. So I'm over here being a loser, spending all my time on making a fucking cute, cuddly platformer mascot game from like, got some 90s look to it.
Will Zera be edgy by the end of the game?
Oh god, no.
We should be picking up like.
She's not gonna be edgy, but.
So how will you get that Legend of Spire animation?
I don't know. Also, thank you, big thanks to Faith SDK, which is another team of Morta's Mayhem. Frank, Pinball Dude 97's sister. So she actually helped like a shit ton with the logo, like the new Zera logo, which without that would not have been able to put together the current Zera Miss Awaken logo. She 3D modeled the Zera parts based off some suggestions. We went back and forth, and she dealt with my shenanigans for like several weeks, and it turned out fantastically. So, big props to her, because I was really stressing about that, and she came in clutch with that logo work.
So when you beat the boss, do they die? Because I remember hearing that the juice control of the Guardians didn't say they were willingly evil.
If somebody, so yeah, somebody's, I was gonna say this earlier. Yeah, if you guys want some more details about certain plot things like that, read stuff on the Wikia, because I do update it on occasion, and there is some juicy plot related shit up there that I haven't necessarily said anywhere else. Yeah, it's, if you have the demo downloaded, anybody who has the demo downloaded, there's an info text document. And it does link to the Wikia in there, so just check it out. Yeah. What was the question that they asked again? Because in my rant about the wiki existing, I forgot what the hell they said. I'm fucking gone.
Do they like die or do they revert back to their like non-evil forms like Crop?
I'll say you have to find out. You have to find out. Yeah.
I get this is supposed to be low poly, but will you at least allow for higher resolution, less serrated edge? Yes.
Yeah, there's so specifically, I don't know if you're here, I'm assuming you weren't here earlier, but currently these options are grayed out, but classic resolution is essentially what you're seeing now. Emulated will essentially be like whatever the actual resolution is that you select in the resolution dialog box. Yeah, or like you upscale it, like that's the quote-unquote emulated resolution. Yeah, it's just classic by default at the moment because I didn't have time to set it up to swap between them.
That may or may not be released for this demo.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it'll be a feature for the demo, but definitely for the full game, you will be able to switch between. And also, but probably not just switching between these two. I'm probably just gonna also give it an advanced tab. Like these will just set certain settings to one opposite or the other, but then advanced will give you full control of the breakdown of the settings. Any more questions?
I have a question. What horror movie are you gonna watch?
What horror movie are we gonna watch?
Watch out for this software.
Oh god. Wait, what did you say, JJ?
Toystory.exe.
Oh my god, is that a thing?
It sounds pretty exciting. Oh,
Actually, it might be a thing.
I hope it's not a thing.
I hope it is.
Oh god. So yeah, if you can't hear, we're gonna watch like something horror related because yeah. Well, a better way to celebrate the release of the Holiday Adventure Demo 2.0 with fucking watching scary movies and stuff.
Yeah, well, I don't.
Alright, I'm just struggling here.
Alright, thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you for attending the past 1 hour and a half.
Yeah.
Please play the demo, enjoy it. There will be updates soon, more things released.
I hope they can actually hear you and you're not just like a muffled off in the distance.
This is the best Muppet Monster Adventure result ever.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself, to be honest.
Yeah, Muppet Monster Adventure fan game. When? Answer to that question is now. Yeah. So yeah, let me do the old classic. Oh wait, it's gotta. There we go.